All the links to the original posts are given in the description. So now let's head straight to the video. What should I do? My girlfriend told me she got raped by a person I've clearly asked her not to see. I've been going out with my girlfriend for about 3 months now. She's much more of a party person and social butterfly, whereas I'm a stay inside and cuddle type. She's hung out and drank with some old friend, and I've told her my concerns about that due to him physically abusing her, not that she's going to cheat on me, but that I'm aware that sadly a lot of guys can't take no for an answer, and due to said previous incidents and her being so small won't always be able to defend herself. Hanging out this weekend, she told me she couldn't have sex with me out of the blue. I asked about it, and after some conversation she tells me she got forcefully fingered by the person I've been most adamant about her not hanging out with anymore. I'm insanely conflicted. I understand and know it wasn't her fault for the physical torture she went through, and I want to do terrible things to the guy that did it. I also feel mad at her because she ignored my multiple requests not to hang out with this person for that exact reason. I really don't know what to think and would appreciate anyone kind enough to give their thoughts and advice. Peace and love, thank you. Now let's move on to the second story. I 31F want to leave my husband 31 meters, but scared I'm overreacting. My husband and I have been together for 3 years, married for 2 and no kids. We love each other immensely, but our relationship has been tough. I am the breadwinner and make considerably more than him. I am paid monthly and handle all our finances, and he gets paid weekly and pays the grocery. We used to split rent equally, $225 each, but he complained that his check wasn't enough to last him the week, so we changed it to me paying everything. I maintain the house, cleaning, laundry, and even now the lawns because I get tired of asking him to do it. My husband has a habit of ruining everything good that happens in our lives. He makes little to no effort in our marriage, but yet I go above and beyond for us. I plan all our vacations, and instead of being appreciative, he'll find something to be mad about and completely ruin the trip. This happens with almost everything in our life. Our wedding day, buying our first home, etc. Everything is done by me, and all I ever want from him is to be thankful, but all get is someone who is ungrateful. I feel so resentful. I've only ever been with him, so have no experience with relationships. He makes me feel like I'm overreacting, but I don't think I am. I've tried to end it, but he just cries and says he'll change and out more effort, but then he never does. I feel so trapped and overwhelmed. I know what to do, but just can't bring myself to leave. Your feelings are valid, and it's essential to prioritize your own happiness and well-being in a relationship. It's clear that you've been putting in a lot of effort and making many sacrifices in your marriage. Here are some things to consider. Communication. Have an open and honest conversation with your husband about your concerns and feelings. Let him know how his behavior is affecting you and the relationship. Communication is key, and it's possible he may not fully realize the impact of his actions. Counseling. Consider couples therapy or marriage counseling. A professional can help facilitate these conversations and provide strategies for improving the relationship. Self-care. Focus on your own self-care and well-being. It's important to take care of yourself, both mentally and emotionally. Sometimes, when you prioritize your own needs, it can positively impact the relationship. Evaluate the relationship. Think about what you truly want and need in a relationship. Assess whether your husband is willing and capable of making the changes necessary to create a healthier and happier partnership. Set boundaries. Clearly define your boundaries and expectations in the relationship. If you're feeling overwhelmed and resentful, it's essential to communicate what you need for the relationship to work for both of you. Consider your future. Reflect on your long-term happiness and whether staying in the marriage is likely to bring you fulfillment. Think about the kind of future you want for yourself and whether it's achievable within the current relationship. Seek support. Reach out to friends, family, or a therapist for support and guidance as you navigate these difficult decisions. Sometimes, an outside perspective can be helpful. Remember that it's okay to prioritize your own happiness and well-being. Leaving a marriage is a significant decision, and it's natural to feel scared and overwhelmed. However, if you've genuinely tried to make the relationship work and your husband hasn't followed through on his promises to change, you may need to consider whether staying in the marriage is the right choice for you. Your feelings are valid, and you deserve a relationship that brings you joy and fulfillment. Now let's move on to the third story. My boyfriend's relationship with his neighbor makes me uncomfortable. Her daughter told me something. There's no way I can be comfortable with their relationship anymore, right? Yesterday was my daughter's 8th birthday party. For context, her father and we're together for 11 years at that point. She wanted a sleepover, spa party, and invited her best friend from school and her father's neighbor's twin girls. My daughter's father will refer to as B, and the twins' mom will refer to as S. The parents stayed for pizza and cake. They had a couple drinks while I painted the girls' nails and did the whole spa party my daughter had asked for. S left shortly after I settled all the girls down with a movie. I went for a smoke break, and to see the conversation we had was him going on and on about us for about 10 minutes before I mentioned that the way he goes on about her made me uncomfortable. He got incredibly upset and stormed off to my bedroom after telling me he's allowed female friends and I was being a jerk. He came back down at some point to tell me he called us to tell her what I said. In the morning, I was making pancakes with one of the twins while the other girls played, and she told me she used to think I was mean when I asked why. She told me B goes over to her house all the time and talks bad about me to S, and that S thinks I'm only with B for money. I was incredibly upset, and when he got up and tried to talk about the night before I asked him to leave and we would talk later, he started a fight in front of all the kids, so I kicked him out, and he made a big deal about being kicked out of his daughter's party. He tried to drag S into the middle of it as she had shown up, to which I informed them of what her daughter told me. He had S take him home. A couple hours later now, and he's blowing up my phone wanting to talk. I'm still upset, and now I'm convinced there's something going on between them. I don't know how to go about the situation now. I can't ignore him forever, but I don't know what to say when I finally do answer the phone. There's no way I can be comfortable with their relationship at this point, right? TLDR, my boyfriend's neighbor's daughter told me my boyfriend goes over to her house and talks bad about me to her mom. I'm convinced there's something going on now. Is there any way to be comfortable with that dynamic anymore? It's understandable that you're feeling uncomfortable and upset about the situation with your boyfriend and his neighbor. Trust and open communication are essential in any relationship, and when you discover that your partner is speaking negatively about you to someone else, it can erode trust and raise concerns. Here are a few things to consider and steps to take. Have a calm conversation. It's important to address this issue with your boyfriend in a calm and collected manner. When you do speak with him, try to keep your emotions in check and express your feelings and concerns honestly. Ask for his perspective. Give him the opportunity to explain his side of the story. There may be misunderstandings or other factors at play. It's essential to listen to his perspective as well. Discuss boundaries. Talk about appropriate boundaries in your relationship. While having friends of the opposite gender is okay, it's not acceptable for your boyfriend to speak negatively about you to someone else, especially if it's affecting your relationship. Trust your instincts. If you still feel uncomfortable with their relationship after discussing the matter with your boyfriend, trust your instincts. Your feelings and comfort in the relationship are vital. Consider professional help. If your concerns persist and you are unable to resolve the issue through communication, you might consider couples therapy or counseling to work through the underlying problems. Evaluate the relationship. Take some time to reflect on the overall health of your relationship. Consider whether you can rebuild trust and whether you both are willing to work through this situation together. Maintain open communication. Moving forward, open and honest communication is key. Be clear about your boundaries and expectations in the relationship. Remember that your feelings and concerns are valid. It's essential for both partners in a relationship to respect each other and maintain trust. Trust can be rebuilt, but it requires effort and understanding from both sides. Ultimately, whether you can be comfortable with their relationship will depend on the resolution of this issue and the steps taken to rebuild trust and maintain a healthy relationship. Now for the last story. My sister is severely escalating my marriage problems with my wife. This is going to be a long one. For the record, my wife and I have 2 kids, and everything I describe myself doing in this post is for them. I just don't know what to do now and hope someone can help. My wife has cheated on me twice throughout our 13-year marriage. The first one that I found out about, it almost completely broke me. I couldn't take care of our eldest, and I had her stay with my younger half-sister, then 24, for a couple of weeks. My sister and my daughter are joined at the hip. The second affair that I found out about was earlier this year. Her response was immediately tears and blaming me. She made many excuses, that I'm too busy, that I don't take her out enough, that I never compliment her. I know that I haven't been the best husband, but I've just been trying to save up to get our eldest a good college education someday. And I've always been faithful. I'm broken. I had to move out of the house for a bit and stay at my dad's, where My little sister has been a champ and has been spending so much time with the kids, even if she basically kidnapped them. The kids seem to be having a lot of fun, and I'm really thankful for her. What I'm not thankful for, however, is how she's reacting towards my wife. I'm trying to work things out with my wife, for the sake of the kids. I grew up in a broken household and understand just what it does to you when your parents split up. My daughter is already having problems at school. I don't want things to get so much worse for her just because I couldn't make things work, as an adult, with my wife. But my sister has been behaving really aggressively towards my wife, which started with lurking on her social media and taking note of each and every time the affair partner likes my wife's posts. The fact that they still follow each other sent her into a rage. She went to our house and took the kids away, without asking me or my wife. My kids are staying with her now, which TBH I'm fine with as they appear to be having fun. I just wished she'd have told me first. Besides taking the kids, my sister slashed my wife's expensive high heels with a knife, destroyed her makeup, and has been intimidating the AP, including leaving threatening notes on his car and pouring broken glass right outside his house. He's posted about this on his Instagram story, not knowing who did it. I worry that he'll suspect it's me, but I do have an alibi that I'm out of town at my dad's. For the record, my sister told me all this herself, that she did all of it. Then she goes home and watches Disney movies with my kids and makes them big delicious meals. Yesterday she took them to a water slide park. They told me they had an amazing time. It honestly unnerves me that she's capable of all this. I don't really know what to do about it, but I've asked her to stop. She just pretended like she didn't understand me, and says she's sticking up for me and my dignity, and I know she'll continue. My wife knows about all this and has been very, very silent. I don't want to bring it up myself, but she definitely knows it's my sister. I think she's heartbroken, because she and my sister used to be very, very close when my sister was a teenager. Yeah, I just don't really know what to do. I'm trying to make things right, but my sister might be making that impossible. What can I do in this situation? TLDR, my wife has cheated on me twice now, putting my marriage on the rocks, and my little sister has responded by taking the kids away from her, doing very scary, violent things to the possessions of my wife and the affair partner, and ignoring my pleas for her to stop. It's clear that you're in a very complex and emotionally charged situation. Here are some key points to consider. Family dynamics. It's understandable that your sister is trying to protect and support you during this difficult time. Her actions, however, are not healthy or productive. It's important to have a conversation with her about the boundaries and the potential consequences of her actions. Focus on your marriage. While it's natural for your sister to be protective, the issues in your marriage should be addressed primarily by you and your wife. Try to have an open and honest conversation with your wife about the problems in your relationship. Seek couples therapy if necessary to work on rebuilding trust and improving your marriage. Children's well-being. It's great that your sister is taking care of your children, but their well-being should remain a top priority. Make sure that your children have a stable and supportive environment during this challenging time. If your sister continues to be involved, it should be done with consideration for their best interests and with your wife's agreement. Legal consequences. The actions your sister has taken, such as damaging property and making threats, could have serious legal repercussions. It's important to advise her of these potential consequences and urge her to cease such actions immediately. Communication with your wife. Even though it might be difficult, try to have a conversation with your wife about your sister's actions. It's essential to maintain open communication and address any concerns, fears, and expectations both of you may have. Professional help. Given the complexity of your situation, it may be beneficial to involve a family therapist or counselor who can help mediate discussions and provide guidance on how to navigate these challenges. Respect boundaries. It's essential to establish clear boundaries for your sister's involvement in your marital problems. While her intentions may be well-meaning, her actions could be counterproductive and detrimental to the resolution of the issues in your marriage. Ultimately, your goal should be to address the problems in your marriage and find a way to move forward, either together or separately, in a way that is healthy for both you and your children. Professional guidance and open communication are key in achieving this.
If you like the story, hit the like and don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.